If you're one of the 7.5 million borrowers who were in the Save A plan, or were waiting in that forbearance limbo hoping it would come back, there is a specific window opening right now that you need to know about. Not eventually, now. What happens inside that window is going to determine your monthly payment for the next several years, and what happens if you miss it, or ignore the notice when it arrives, is going to cost you significantly more than you're expecting. This video is not a political take on what happened to Save. It's not a policy overview, and it's not going to bury the answer in a list of 17 acronyms. Here's what this is: a clear sequence, plain language, your actual options, your actual next step, so that by the time this is over, you know exactly what to do first. That's the whole promise. Let's get into it. So let's start with what actually happened, because this matters for how you feel about the confusion. The Save plan was introduced in 2023 as the most generous federal repayment option ever created for most borrowers. Payments as low as 5% of discretionary income. Interest subsidies that kept balances from growing. Faster forgiveness timelines for smaller loans. Then, in July 2024, a federal court blocked parts of it. Borrowers were moved into administrative forbearance minus $0 payments, but the legal future of the plan was genuinely uncertain. In February 2025, an appeals court blocked the rest of it. Interest started accruing again in August 2025, meaning balances have been quietly growing for months for borrowers who thought they were in a protected pause. And then, on March 10, 2026, a federal court formally vacated the rule that created Save E entirely. Not paused. Not under review. Vacated. Here's the thing about that timeline that actually matters. You were not confused because you weren't paying attention. You were confused because the courts, the Department of Education, and two administrations couldn't agree on what was happening either. The whiplash was real. The limbo was real. And the specific exhaustion of trying to plan around something that kept changing, that's not a personal failing. That's the accurate response to a genuinely chaotic situation. Here's what that timeline did not change. Every qualifying payment you made under Save still counts. Your forgiveness history, every month of it, is not erased. That stays. We'll come back to that, but the plan itself is gone. And now there's a window. Now let's look at what you actually have left, and what disappears when. Right now, as of April 2026, here is the actual landscape in plain English without the acronym FOG. There are 4 income-driven repayment plans that still exist. 2 of them matter most for Save borrowers right now. 1 of them has a hard deadline in 2 months. And 1 doesn't open until July. Income-based repayment, IBR. This is the one to understand first. IBR is permanent. It's available right now. Your payments are based on your income. 10% of discretionary income if you took out loans after July 2014, 15% if before. Forgiveness comes after 20 or 25 years, depending on your loan date. Here's what changed in 2025 that most people haven't heard. The income test that used to block higher earners from IBR, gone. Congress removed it. Any borrower with eligible federal loans can now enroll in IBR regardless of income. If you were ever told you didn't qualify, that may no longer be true. The Repayment Assistance Plan, RAP, this is the replacement for Save. It opens July 1st, 2026. Payments are a sliding percentage of your adjusted gross income, ranging from 1% to 10%, with a $10 minimum, so no $0 months. Unpaid interest is waived each month, so your balance can't grow through negative amortization. Forgiveness comes after 30 years, 5 years longer than Save. For borrowers earning under roughly $80,000, RAP will typically produce a lower monthly payment than IBR. Above that income, IBR often becomes the better option. The right answer depends on your income, your family size, and whether you're pursuing public service loan forgiveness. Payee and ICR. Both of these are still technically open, but both are being phased out. Payee closes to new enrollments in 2027 and disappears entirely in 2028. ICR disappears in 2028 as well, but ICR matters right now for one specific group: borrowers with Parent Plus loans. ICR is the only income-driven plan available for Parent Plus loans, and only if you consolidate them into a direct consolidation loan first. The deadline to do that is June 30th, 2026. After that date, Parent Plus borrowers who haven't consolidated lose access to income-driven repayment options entirely. That is a hard deadline, not a guideline. A cutoff. If you have Parent Plus loans, June 30th, 2026 is your date. Everything else in this video still important, but that date comes first and it doesn't move. Which brings us to the decision sequence, the part that actually answers the question in the title. Not what happened to save, you have that now. Not what are the options, you have that too. The actual question, what do you do given your situation? Before the sequence, one reassurance, because this matters. Switching repayment plans does not reset your forgiveness clock. Every qualifying month you paid under Save counts toward forgiveness in whatever plan you move to. If you made 80 payments under Save and switched to IBR, you have 80 payments counted toward IBR's forgiveness threshold. You don't start over. The months in Save forbearance are more complicated. They don't automatically count toward income-driven forgiveness timelines. But for borrowers pursuing public service loan forgiveness, there is a buyback option that may allow those months to count. That's a specific enough situation that it warrants talking to your servicer directly. But the core point holds. Your history is not erased. Now, the decision sequence. 3 questions. Answer them in order. Question 1. Do you have Parent Plus loans? If yes, stop here. Go to studentaid.gov today and confirm your loan type. If they are Parent Plus, your first move is consolidation by June 30th, 2026. After consolidation, ICR is your income-driven option for now. This is your entire focus until that date. Question 2. Are you pursuing public service loan forgiveness? If yes, your goal is the lowest possible monthly payment, because PSLF forgives whatever is left after 120 payments, tax-free, regardless of the amount paid each month. Every qualifying IDR plan counts for PSLF, IBR, Pay, ICR, RAP. Get on IBR now if you want to stop the forbearance and start counting payments again. Evaluate RAP when it opens in July if you want to compare payments. Do not wait indefinitely. Time in a qualifying plan is what PSLF runs on. Question 3. For everyone else, the choice right now is between enrolling in IBR immediately or waiting until July 1st to compare IBR against RAPAP. Here's how to think about it. IBR now makes sense if your income is moderate to high, if you're relatively close to a forgiveness threshold, or if you want to stop interest accrual and restart progress immediately. Waiting for REP makes sense if your income is lower, under roughly $80,000 if your balance is large, and if you're not urgently close to forgiveness. RAP's interest waiver means your balance won't keep climbing even if your payment is small. The most important thing either way, you have until roughly the end of September 2026 before the 90-day window closes. Borrowers who don't select a plan by then will be automatically moved to the standard 10-year repayment plan, fixed payments, no income adjustment. For most Save borrowers, that means a payment that is significantly higher than any income-driven option. That is not a drill. That is the actual mechanism. The window is real, the automatic default is real. And the decision, which plan, by when, is the one thing that is actually in your hands right now. If what you need right now is a single document that puts all of this, the plan comparison, the timeline, the decision flowchart for your specific situation, in one place you can actually keep, there's a resource in the description built exactly for this moment. It's a 2026 edition guide for student loan borrowers navigating these changes, written in the same plain language as this video, with none of the jargon. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment. So here is the step. 1 step. Not a system. The single most useful thing you can do today, or this week, before any plan decision, before any phone call, before anything else. Log into studentaid.gov. Find your loan details. Write down 2 numbers. Number 1, your current loan balance. Number 2, your loan type. Direct loan, FFEL, Parent Plus. Those 2 numbers tell you which options are actually available to you. From there, and only from there, run the loan simulator. It's built into studentaid.gov. It takes about 5 minutes. Enter your income. It will estimate your monthly payment under each available plan. That estimated IBR payment is your benchmark number. It's the floor, the most you'd pay on an income-adjusted plan if you enrolled right now. Write it down. That's it. That's the step. Not the plan decision. That comes next and you have time. Not the phone call to your servicer that comes after you know what you're asking for. Not the full system overhaul. None of that is the job today. The job today is 2 numbers and 1 estimate. Because right now, the worst place to be is in the fog. Not because of what's coming, but because the fog is what makes the window feel impossible. Anyone who's been carrying this knows. The anxiety doesn't come from the problem itself. It comes from not being able to see it clearly. 2 numbers. 5 minutes. Studentaid.gov. That is the thing that changes what the rest of this feels like. Not because it solves everything, but because it turns a policy chaos into a number on a piece of paper that belongs to you. And the number you can see is a number you can work with. One note for anyone whose situation is more complex. PSLF buyback calculations, loans in default, multiple servicers, or a combination of loan types that don't fit any clean category. This is one situation where talking to a nonprofit student loan counselor is genuinely worth it. The Institute of Student Loan Advisors, TISLA, offers free guidance. That's not a product recommendation, that's just the resource that exists for situations where the decision sequence has more variables than this video can hold. If you want the full plan comparison, the deadline calendar, and the decision flowchart for your specific loan situation, all of it in one place, the link in the description and the pinned comment will take you there. What part of your situation is still unclear after this loan type, PSLF, income, and what's making it complicated? Here's what's true right now, said plainly. The SAVE plan is gone. That's real, and it's a genuine loss for the millions of borrowers who enrolled in it in good faith, made decisions based on it, and planned a financial future around it. That loss is worth naming. It's not nothing. And it is also true that you are not out of options. The options are narrower than they were. They are more complicated than they should be. The payments, for most borrowers, are going to be higher. None of that is on you. What is in your hands is the window. 90 days, starting July 1st. 2 numbers from studentaid.gov. 1 estimate from the loan simulator. And a decision, IBR now, or IBR versus RAP in July, that you are now equipped to make. The window is real. The step is small, and the fog, the specific fog of not knowing what you're deciding between, that's lighter now than it was 15 minutes ago. That's not a small thing. That's the part that changes first. This is not a discipline problem. This is not evidence of something wrong with how you handle money. This is a genuinely complicated policy situation that has been explained badly, changed repeatedly, and landed in your lap with a deadline attached. You now know what happened. You know what's left. You know the sequence. And you know the 1 step that makes the next step possible. 1 step, not a system. Go find those 2 numbers. That's the whole ask for today.